Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classics and Non-Classics. This is episode number 2495 and double number 2389. Well, first up, we're discussing Marvel Masterworks Marvel Team Up Volume 4, which collects issues 31 to 40 along with Giant Size Spider-Man 4 through 5. Before I talk about the main issue, let's talk about Giant Size Spider-Man 4 and 5. Number 4. Let's see. Because, of course, basically, Giant Size Spider-Man is basically essentially put, like, Marvel team-up books. That is literally what they are. Alright, so, in the case of this first one, Giant Size 4, this is basically Spider-Man the Punisher teaming up to take on the debuting Moses Meganium, where Spider-Man is asked by the Punisher to basically infiltrate his organization and take him down. And it's a really interesting story for what it is. You get sort of like a version of a contra-agent camp he's running. They'll eventually he is defeated and he supposedly dies, and then he comes back in the Pyroman Annual. He later claims, oh yeah, that was a stand-in. Despite the fact here clearly showing he died. Number 5, Spider-Man teams with the Man-Thing, take on the Lizard. Yes, the Lizard. And I think this was the last one, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that was the last regular one because number 6, which was the final Giant-Size Spider-Man, it was just a reprint. Yep. But I really enjoyed talking about the Giant-Size books. It is one book I was surprised to see collect this book is number 3. You would think Marvel would not collect this one, but no. This actually is collected. It's weird that somehow this issue, Giant Size Spider-Man number 3, that gets collected in trade. But yet, the Marvel 2-1 issue where he appears in, actually it's not there. There's that. Now talking about the main series, 3134. 31 is the first time Spider-Man meets Iron Fist for the first time. Yep. I got at least, by the way, I almost got to mention, the writer for this book. Mostly it's Jerry Conway, who pretty much writes everything here. He writes from 31, 37, writes both Giant-Size books. Of course, writes Giant-Size Spider-Man number 4, because he basically channeled the Punisher again. 30 to 40 is done by Bill Manslow. Sal Buscema does pretty much from 32 to 40. 31 is Jim Mooney, and the Giant-Size books are by Ross Aldru. Now, mostly put in the case of the Iron Fist book. This is the first time Spider-Man's ever met Iron Fist. He thought when he first met him, he thought it was similar to Shang-Chi, but he's not Shang-Chi. Interesting that we mentioned Shang-Chi here. Now, at this point in time, you probably think, has Shang-Chi met Iron Fist? Not that I know of, but basically taking this one-shot villain called the Backwards Man. Yep. Yeah, that is literally what they do here. And I believe he's like a one-shot villain. Yeah, Drum the Backwards Man. He's only here just for this one issue. Yeah, and that's it. 32 begins a 3-part, at least a 4-part story arc. Where, for the next few issues, basically 32 is noteworthy for 32 and 35 are the last 2 issues of this book where Human Torch is basically the main feature of the book, not Spider-Man. Maybe because he was busy doing something else. This book teams up with Son of Satan to take on this Damocles character, who I believe is another one-shot villain. Yeah. And then 33 begins that was a standalone issue, but 33 begins a story that started from Giant Size Defenders number 4. Yep. Where Spider-Man teams up with Nighthawk. Basically, you can think of 33, 35 is basically Spider-Man and Human Torch team up with Defenders, take on this guy called Jeremiah and the Meteor Man along with Arturo. You're thinking, who the heck is Jeremiah? Jeremiah is this cultist who only appears in these 3 issues. Well, appears in these 3 issues plus a Web of Spider-Man annual. But yeah, these 3 issues are mostly his only appearance. His cult known as the Innocence of God, were basically a cult formed by Jeremiah. And the Meteor Man is here. Of course he is. This is by far his first appearance since his debut back in Music 36, back in 1966. Yeah, this is his first appearance in 9 years. Why the heck basically Marvel writers are going to bring back the Meteor Man at this point? I have no idea. And then he next appears in Defenders. And then, of course, Spider-Man's out of the book by 35. Yep. And, of course, the stuff with, of course, Valkyrie in these issues. Jeremiah, of course, is dealt with. Otaru is this demon that he summoned. He's only here for 1 issue. And that kind of wrapped up that mini story arc, what it was. Really interesting story arc. And then we have a 2-part story arc where Spider-Man teams up with, of all people, the Frankenstein monster. Yes, and no, he's not John Joe like Boss Koff. He's a slightly altered version. Yeah, he's basically in he was kidnapped and he wakes up on a table. So he frees himself at the end of the issue after dealing with the Monster Maker. Supposedly, oh yeah, the Monster Maker apparently has got John Jameson under his control. Yes, seriously. And it leads into John Jameson appearing in the very next issue. John Jameson is the Man-Wolf. Yeah, it's like a werewolf. Now, he of course, last appeared in Marvel Premiere number 46. And this leads to supposedly him getting cured. Of course, his next appearance will be in Midnight on 190. Montague himself, he would stop appearing right after this issue. Now, in the case of 38, we have Spider-Man team up with the Beast, take on Beast. So back out from his run Amazing Adventures, the Griffin. A character who still appears this very day. The Griffin, of course, last appeared back in his debut issue, which was Amazing Adventures 15. And after this one-shot issue, his next appearance will be in Champions number 7. A year later, done by Bill Man. Bill Man's right, that one? That was Tony Isbilla. Beast, of course, last appeared back in Avengers 140. And, of course, his experience being back in Avengers. Yeah, really interesting idea to take on the Griffin. And then you have Spider-Man team and Human Torch take on, get this, the returning Enforcers, who's led by the Big Man. And you're thinking, if you've read Amazing Spider-Man, wait, is he dead? And he should be. He got killed by Kingpin's forces. And in a warehouse, and then at the end of the issue, you go, oh crap, the Crime Master is back, and you're dead too. You got killed by cops. Yep. And then of course they suppose to team up, and then the Crime Master turns on Big Man, and it turns out Big Man is a woman, and she's the daughter of Frederick Frostwell, the original Big Man, and Crime Master. This one is the son of the original. Oh, by the way, he was also dating Janice. Janice Frostwell. Yes, he dated her, and he had no idea that Janice Frostwell was in fact Big Man. He had no idea about that. But that was a great 2-parter. I loved it. Probably by far the best issues. It's a great, of course, we also have, get this. Okay, so Spider-Man is, while to deal with the Big Man Crime Master, we have the Sons of the Tiger pop up here. Yes, the Sons of the Tiger. A character created by Jerry Conway, yet the issue is written by Bill Manslow. Those of you curious, Who the heck are the Sons of the Tiger? Well, they made their debut in the very same comic that White Tiger popped up in, and also Jack of Hearts. Deadly Hands of Kung Fu. This book also had a feature for Iron Fist, and also had a debut of Daughters of the Dragon. It is a black and white comic book that Jerry Conway and Bill Mansell wrote this whole series. It is an excellent book. Also, Shang-Chi had a feature in the book too. Yeah, it's an excellent book. Of course, they also had appeared in the Kung Fu Special, which is the special album edition, which is mostly put just a reprint. Yeah, and this was their sole appearance throughout the time they appeared in that book. This was the only time they appeared outside of that very book. Yeah, because their appearance took place during issues 18 and 19. And then after 32, which of course we have the Daughters of the Dragon. Yeah. And then, like, right afterwards, they became recurring characters in Power Man Iron Fist. They appeared in Wolverine Manifest Destiny. And their most recent appearance was actually in Marvel Comics 1000. Yeah. But these issues are fantastic. The only thing I didn't like about these issues is basically Meteor Man. Yes. And plus, Defenders of a Kind covered before, but I kind of really want to cover it again because it's basically, well, Marvel Team Up, actually. Yep. But yeah, great book. Get this book roughly... I would give it a 10, but I'm gonna give it a 9 because of Meteor Man. Because I don't care about Meteor Man. I thought he's a terrible villain. Excuse me. So next up we have is Marvel Masterworks Spider-Woman Volume 2. Let's collect issues 9 to 25. Which means, wait, are we like halfway through the volume with this one? Yes, we are. Now, your writers are Mark Greenwald, that's issues 9 to 20. 21 to 25 is Michael Fisher. Stephen Co. does 19 to 20 with Mark Greenwald. Karen Fantino does the 9 to 19. 2022 is Frank Springer. Chad Von E does 23 to 24, and Steve Luna does basically 25. Oh, I forgot to mention when it comes to Marvel Team Up. The main issue for that one covers the time period of March 1975 and concludes with December 1975. Yep, takes place, of course, that year. In the case of Spider-Woman, it's basically from December 1980 and include April 1980. Yep. So with this book, it's out of the 70s, which that didn't take very long. Yeah. Now, basically, we do see in this book, basically, we do see also stuff related to Spider-Woman, like how she puts on her costume, where it's shown that she has a zipper in the back of her suit, and the fact it's kind of put on basically where any other basically superhero book basically would do this, where the zipper's in the back, not in the front. And also the fact that Jerry Hunt, who's in the book, is kind of in the way, well, Jessica Drew's love interest. Yeah, and are these issues his last appearance in the book? By issue 16, he's out of the book. There's at one point they go to the beach together. Yeah. There's a debut character called The Needle. Yep. The Needle. Yeah, he's only here for like this issue, and then he pops to begin the final issue of this book. By 10, we have the debut of the Gypsy Moth. A character who's also on the skin right now. Yeah, she's still around. Yeah, very beautiful woman. And Sybil Dalrick is her real name. And after this very issue, her next appearance would be in Contest of Champions #1. Then she hops off for 2 to 3 final issues, but basically she becomes sort of she's more known for her in Thunderbolts. It's like, yeah, let's just have this character debut in 1978 and do nothing for her for 4 years, and then have her return for Spider-Man when they wrap the book up, and then have her become a recurring film for Captain America, the West Coast Avengers, Bar Thunderbolts. Yeah, you can thank this book basically for her debut book. Yeah, we also have the character named Magnus, who's a sorcerer. Yeah, he's basically a recurring character in this book, but by issue 13, he's gone from the book. Yep. Yeah, then we have, by issue 11, her take on the Brothers Grimm. Yep. Which sadly put basically, this would be the death of Brothers Grimm. Yeah, Nathan Dolly. Yeah, Brother Grimm. He gets killed off in this issue. Sadly. Madame Doll. Priscilla Kelly. Yeah, she's another character appearing since issue like 3, and then by 19, and of course she pops up for 19, that's it for her. Yeah, then we have, where in issue 12 we have Death of Brothers Grimm. Well, yeah, one of them anyways. And then we have the Shroud appear in the book. Yes, the Shroud. Now you're probably asking, was this book the first appearance of the Shroud? No, that was Supervillain Team Up. The Shroud, meanwhile, becomes I believe, because he appears in several issues of this book, I think he becomes like a recurring character in this book. Yeah, he appears for a few issues, and then he appears in our preview. Yep. He's also kind of insane because he has an obsession with Julia Carpenter. But yeah, he becomes a recurring character in this book for a few issues. Yeah. Of course, he searched Jerry Hunt. And then we have an issue 14 debut of Lindsay McCabe, a recurring character for Spider-Woman, who's basically one of her closest friends. She's a stunt woman who appeared from issue 14 up until the final issue. She basically this was a debut, becomes a recurring character, becomes a regular supporting character in the book. And then after the book concluded, she popped up a few times. And then she appeared as a recurring character in Wolverine for a while. And then she returned for the most recent volume for the series, where she appeared from issue 13 to the final issue. So it's almost like they basically brought her in because my guess is Greenwald probably knew Jerry Hunt's time book was going to end. So let's bring a different character to her bounce off of. Not like be romantic per se, just be a close friend. Yep. Yeah, then by issue number, after dealing with the Call of Kali by issue 16, Jerry Hunt is gone by issue 16. Though he next pops up in Captain America right after. Well, he does appear in an issue. He appears in recap, but yep. And also Spider-Man takes on Nakira, a woman who made her debut in the final issue of Shana the She-Devil. And also was a lover of. She's also been involved with a guy who's known for manipulating people, a guy who Spider-Man doesn't like very much. Mandrill. Yep. Yeah, in the case of her, when she appeared in this book here, basically, it's like she was dropped in to become a recurring villain for Spider-Woman for a few issues, and then disappears again after. She previously appeared in issues of Daredevil. Yes, Daredevil. And by issue 16, well, she's done the book, and so is Jerry Hunt. We did this guy called the Wax Man, who is simply put Mars version of Clayface. Yep. And he appears in 2 issues of this book, 17, 18, And he does not appear again until Superior Octopus. And 2 issues Superior Spider-Man. Then he appears a few times in Moon Knight. And that's it for him. Yep. And after deal with the Wax Man, then we deal with the committee with their enforcer. Yep, their enforcer. Yep. He, of course, is here for issues 9, just for 19, but he does pop up again for a few more issues afterwards. Yep, and the committee, I believe this was their... No, they actually... the committee were these group of businessmen who didn't like some things, so they only appeared in Spider-Man for like 1 issue. Yeah, their next appearance in Marvel Comics being issue number 93 of Marvel Team Up. And of course, this book followed a guest appearance by Wear It By Night. Then by issue 20, basically, we have the most... This was an issue people wanted to see happen. This is the issue where Spider-Woman meets Spider-Man. No, these two do not become a romantic couple. Nope. They just meet. He kind of does like the fact his name is similar to his, but she does explain her backstory, and then eventually he decides to leave because he has other stuff to do. And it's like, you're not going to turn me in? Nah, you remind me too much of myself. And he rides off. And we're thinking, you think that was pointless? No, that was a good interaction. Because this is by far, if you think about it, the first major character the Marvel Comics Universe Spider-Man has met at this point who's not Nick Fury. Wear-It-By Night is a good character, but he's not as big as, let's say, Spider-Man. And my guess is you could say, oh, he only appeared in this book for a good sales boost. Well, the book managed to last for 30 more issues even after this run-in. Yep. Now, Peter himself next appeared in Marvel Team Up 93, where he teamed up with the Wear-It-By Night. And before he appeared before this, and of course, Marvel Team Up. So you could say, yeah, this is in between book between Marvel Team appearances. And then we have debut of Lindsay's, Scott McDowell, who was also known as Hornet. Yeah, basically 21 is his debut of him. He's basically, it's like they're trying to expand the supporting cast of Spider-Woman here. And he's here until, about 35. And also Alexander Walsh. He didn't really appear very much in the book. Not really. He appeared for most of many issues published in this trade here and a couple of issues afterwards, and that was it for him. Taking the Mob in issue 21. In 22, we have a debut of a character known as Killer Clown, who appears as 1 issue. Killer Clown, I'm sure, is probably taking the Joker. But isn't it interesting, though, that Spider-Man has one version of Clayface? Yeah, called the Wax Man. And then we deal with Gamesman, who appeared 3 times. He appears in 3-part issues. Issues 23 and 25, and that was it for him. Yep, and then by issue 25, where basically Gamesman is done, and, yeah, and of course he gets dealt with and he's never seen again. But this book was a lot of fun. I loved it, and I can't wait to discuss the remaining trades for this one. Yep. Yeah, so I'm going to give this trade here I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. It's actually pretty good. Probably by far, okay, let me show up basically, let's see, what issue was it Waxman appeared in? Nope. There we go. It was issue 18. I should show up basically what the heck Waxman looks like. Yeah, Shroud is also an outside character who's not from the title. So so we have three outside characters. Where we have Wear It by Night, Shroud, and Spider-Man. But Spider-Man is the biggest character. Maybe this, I think this cover here, this is basically Waxman right here. Yep, that's Waxman. It's almost like basically DC Marvel's knows, hey, Clayface is very popular over DC. Let's do our own character. And let's have him be basically not the big important character. Big important character. Now, here's the thing about Waxman. Mark Greenwald may have created him, obviously. But we also had, now, here's the thing. Now, the other guy who wrote the second appearance, this guy, the guy who wrote these two issues, this is the only issues he wrote for Marvel, John Wilborn. Now, is John Wilborn even alive anymore? I'm not the Mark Greenwald isn't, no Carmen Fantastic either. Oddly enough, basically, he just did these two comics. And he created Waxman. Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not much known about the guy, so... But I know Carmen Infantino is about Mark Esposito. Is he still alive? No, he isn't. He was the inker of this book. Roger Stifler. He's no longer alive either, so... John Casisa. Let's see. Is this guy still alive? Oh yeah, he's still alive. The editor is Roger Stern. Yeah, he's still very much alive. He's only 6 years older than my dad. Yep. But yeah, great stuff here. So, that's it for that. So, next up, The 100 Girlfriends. And then, that was part-time into my 3 anime. Okay, next video. Bye.